Hello everyone, welcome to Go Clinic. So this is a very new series in my channel, and the goal of this channel is to review amateur games, the entire game, sporadically, right? So if I find a very interesting game, I'll make a video about it, and I will review the entire game and hopefully give you some insights about either basically everything, early game, middle game, as well as end game. So it's really about the entire game. It's very different from my other series where I only talk about local variations or a best move from pro. So today, for our very first video, I got a chance to find a very interesting game played by one of my students. And he is playing as white pieces in this game, and he has been improving really fast. The first time I talked to him, he was about 6Q, and now he climbed all the way to 4Q. So that was not long ago. It was probably 2 months or so, or a little bit more. And I mean, he's got a job, and he's just playing Go on the side, so that's pretty fast improvement. Very impressive, especially in terms of Joseki and stuff like that. So very proud of him. All right, let's look at what happened in the game. Black decides to play a very unusual way of protecting the corner. White goes in. And black honey. So I've talked about this move in my Joseki Lecture 4. So check it out, and I explained the correct response to this move in that video. I won't repeat it here. White extended. That was not the correct move. That's fine. So that video came out after he finished this game, so not his problem. It's probably my problem. And now we have a very interesting follow-up. I think it's very well played by both sides. Black Ataris, white extends. Very good read on the ladder. It works. Now this cut is a little bit questionable, right? So, because that's a suicide. Black Ataris, and then you cannot run out. So I thought my student would go for this variation, but this is not a great variation for white anyway. This is a group that is important, that makes black's two groups connected and very strong. Maybe playable. That's how I would probably play after making a suicide like this. Not sure. Haven't checked with any software. Let's look at what happened. Okay, and push. Right, so this move is obviously threatening the ladder. Black needed to fix. That's a nice way to fix. Very good move. Black honeys. Okay, looking very normal. The Atari looks a bit ugly. I would have played the jump. Obviously, we're a bit worried about weakness over here. We can jump to fix it, right? This would be a better shape move, because the reason we don't want Atari here is because after black connects, he has a solid eye here. But let's say in the future, we might have this, right? So we might have this variation, and black needs to worry about his eye space now. So Atari is probably not the best move here. This exchange is not necessary. Okay, and black crosscut. interesting. Okay, and okay, all these variations are good. And excellent move from white. Very fast. It's creating a moyo over here. And black peeps. So I will talk a little bit here. What white played is to go ahead and respawn. But we don't necessarily have to respawn, right? The first thing we ask ourselves in a situation like this where our opponent is playing a seemingly Sente move is that what's the worst thing that can happen if we don't play, if we don't respawn locally, right? So that's a very interesting question to ask yourself. And I think as you level up, you will ask that question more and more in your game. Really, I don't see what black can do locally, right? This cut is not necessarily severe. We can respond to the second one, or even we can go ahead and invade the corner, right? And those all big moves. So yeah, having Tanuki in mind is very, very important in our games. Responding locally is okay, but I think in this case, since I'm not sure what's the objective of black's peep, I might just go ahead and play elsewhere. When blacks come out, we can start running our group. No big deal. We still have the possibility to cut black off later on, right? So I'm pretty sure my student is aware of the idea of Tanuki, but I think it really comes with more practice to have a very flexible mindset and not always answering our opponent's Sente moves. The seemingly Sente moves, right? These are not really Sente. They're not absolute Sente. I'm not even sure what is threatening, so very suspicious looking move. So we can go ahead and Tanuki, no problem. Okay, so they played some sequence over here. Yeah, there's not much point to explain all these sequence. Okay, let's just fast move forward to the important points. And so after this sequence, black is pretty much winning. The reason being that black has this nice sequence to kill white, right? We cannot enclose the group on top, and black has too much liberties over here. So pretty much game over. Okay, so let's look at what black did. Black Ataris, okay, not necessary. White connects, and we got to a very interesting fight. Okay, here is where I will focus a little bit. So a lot of times, you know, our dragon will be in danger. Yaku's to all players, pretty much to all my viewers. I'm pretty sure about that. I confess first, I get killed a lot in my games. I invade a moyo and my opponent goes ahead and kill me. And I have no way to escape, and it's so frustrating. I summarize this situation, and it's because of two reasons. Reason number one, I just did not do well in my opening, and my opponent's moyo got too strong, and when I invaded, it was just not gonna live. Okay, that's case one. Case two, I'm really bad at reading, and my dragon was supposed to be alive, and I was not able to exploit my opponent's weakness, so I died. Those are two very, very common reasons for you to have your dragon die or in trouble or stuff like that. So how do we treat our dragon? I probably need to make a separate video about that, but I'll just quickly summarize. Step 1 is to look at your opponent's weakness, right? Step 1 is not to make an eye. It's not to try to rush to make eyes, right? Why? Because when we try to make an eye, we need 7 moves in a center, right? In the corner, we need 3 moves. Pretty sure you all know this. And 7 moves in the center, really? That's just too long, right? Like our opponent can just peep us and destroy our objective and stuff like that very easily. So the best way to deal with your weakness is weakness for weakness. You gotta look at your opponent's weakness. All right, so that would enough of me BSing here. So let's look at how we can deal with that, how we can use that idea in our game, this is a real game. So maybe we first extend. That's a Sente. Black needs to get his group out. And now we can cut here. And let's check, right? These are forced. Black has a double Atari and black has a weak group here, right? So that's just difficult. So maybe this was not accurate. Actually, that's my mistake. So white needs to cut directly, right? So if we extend here, there's a possibility that black will go ahead and he will fix this weakness first. In the center, maybe this still captures, but leads to some complicated reading. Simple way is for us to cut. Black pretty much cannot deal with this weakness. This is too much, right? The upper group has 3 liberties. This guy has 2 liberties. Very, very difficult. So our first step to deal with our weakness, to deal with our weak group, is to look at opponent's weakness. All right, that's a very important idea in mid-game, in endgame, especially when your dragon is in danger. All right, but see, by not looking into your opponent's weakness and by passively try to defend or freak out or whatever, or panic because your dragon is gonna die, leads to this result. We have 1 eye, we're not alive, and black is now, the white is dead, right? So at this point, black's accurate continuation, I believe, is to extend, right? So I read this a little bit before I made the video, so I think black can extend right now. And this is a very difficult game I'm not going to go to the variation. You can verify by yourself, but white is not going to win this liberty fight. And that's pretty much game over. Now what happened? Which is great because that makes the game interesting. Alright, so let's look at what happened in the game. That was my move. Alright, very interesting. They started a ko. Okay, and they start the liberty fight. That's a very fun game. White goes for a ko threat. Notice that black cannot go ahead and play this kind of moves because white has disattach and black is gonna die. So this is an absolute ko threat. Alright, white takes back. Black squeeze. And now I think white's best move is to start a ko right away. When black takes, we can wedge here. That's a ko threat that black pretty much cannot respond to, and we can play like this as white. And now our weak groups are connected with some points. They're very thick, and white can go ahead and do what he wants to do. That would be a pleasant game moving forward for white. Not what happened. White connected. That's a blunder. Black takes. It's still not late for white. Should still go for this move. But now white connects. Here, it's really a reading problem. I think black can just connect. Black would have 1, 2, 3, 4 liberties, and white would only have 3, and that's pretty much game over. So what is funny is that black did not see that either. So that's what happened in the game. You see at this point black can still connect, and then that's game over. Did not read that. So I'm pretty sure just need to take 30 seconds of your time and read things out, and you might have a very, very nice gift. Okay, and then white, got such a relief, and he can take the ko first, and damn, he won't respond to anything. He will capture regardless what black does. Black obviously will go for this group. This is a ko threat, but white says, nah, I'm not going to deal with that. And black kills the group in the center, so that's a trade. White gets all of these. That's very pleasant looking. And black gets this. So it is a trade. But I think white is definitely winning here. But the board is empty, so we don't know what happens. Let's look at what happens. Alright, so black invades. That's very nice. Okay, nice move. Black peeps, so probably should save the possibility to attach, because after this peep, there's no more attach and connect possibility. Okay, and they go for a fight because they are very good at fighting. They're fighters. And okay, here, this is a big mistake by white. Might not look as such a big deal. So as white, you need to really avoid this kind of exchange. Because before, okay, let's see what this exchange did to you. Now let's count the liberties we have right now. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Before that, you had this extra liberty, so you have 7 liberty. You lost the ko threat too. All right. And what's more important is that you lost the possibility of playing this one. Black plays this, and you can get yourself home. So you have a backdoor this entire time without exchanging this move. Alright, this comes with a bit of reading. This is a common shape. When we have this formation, we have a nice way to connect ourselves. Let's just say black plays this one. This won't work for black because black now is cut into pieces. One of this group is going to die, if not 2. Black has to play this one, and we can connect ourselves. Alright, so absolutely no way to cut white off. White can even play this right now. I think that would be a good choice. So white just lost 1 liberty, 1 ko threat, and the possibility to safely get himself home. So that's a huge loss. That's why we don't exchange this kind of moves. Just like we don't, I don't know how to. It's a bit like exchanges like this. Doesn't do much for us, and then does a lot for black, right? So yeah, moves you need to take time to. It takes time, and then you need to avoid this kind of moves in your game. At this point, white is fine, but I will say that after this exchange, and especially after this exchange, white is not fine, because now this group does not have backdoor and they have to run for life. Alright, so let's look at what happened next. Whoops, why did I go back here? Alright, so white starts to put pressure on the black. Black fights, so there's a fight going on here. White is not able to enclose black here. And yeah, white's moyo get split into halves, and black was able to make himself alive because white's just too weak here. And all right, let's just get to the most important point. Here, white is not so obvious white's gonna live here, so white tries with the jump. That is okay. And the peep. That's a sente. And the push. And the enclose. So black extends, tries to kill white. White Ataris. And here comes the most important point. This is a pure life and death problems. I can even pause a little bit, like if you want to read it out, go ahead. That's definitely a 4K problem, right? Just the perfect problem for both players in this game. So when we do life and death problems, there's some patterns that you can follow, basically. So the first thing we need to check is to make our eye space bigger. That's the first thing you need to check. So on the side trying to make a life, you need to make your eye space bigger. The opposite is that if you're trying to kill your opponent, you need to squeeze their eye space. That's the first rule or first thing that should come to your mind when you do life and death problems. So my intuition would be, yeah, make my eye space larger. Right, and then this is gonna be fine for white, right? How does black kill this group? This is clearly alive. You come in, I can just do this. Absolutely no problem, right? So that's the way to make white alive. So do more life and death problems. That's my advice. And not what happened in the game. At this point, white is dead. If white connects here, black can come in and destroy the eye space. And if white plays this one, pretty much everything is going to kill. Right, we can throw in like this, and this is dead as well. Well, so after this point, what white played is to play this one, but I think the results happen to be the same. And yeah, so black was able to destroy both eyes. And after this, the game is pretty much over. And I guess from this game, what I guess both players could learn is that, you know, life and death is everywhere. It helps with your reading, but they're just present in every game. You need to make your group alive. You need your reading skills. Go ahead and do some life and death problem whenever you have time. It's gonna help out. All right, so I think there's some highlights of the game. The fight over here. Both players missed some moves. That was a reading problem. And obviously over here, white could have lived. Probably still going to be losing game, but white could have lived, and probably there's a chance. But I just want to go back a little bit. And also, in mid games, very important that we don't make moves that we can absolutely not gain anything from. such as this push. Black is connected. We see he's connected, and we still tries to cut him. We still try to cut him. It's just a useless attempt. So why do we do that? We shorten our liberty by 1. We get rid of our backdoor, and we lose 1 co-threat. So very bad exchange over here, and probably that was probably a game changer. That's how bad this exchange was actually. So yeah, so I hope both my student as well as his opponent, as well as my viewers, learned something from this game. Alright, so give a thumb up if you liked the video. If you would like your game to be reviewed, you can, for now, you can message me on OGS. I might provide more ways for you to reach out to me, but as of now, you can reach out to me. My username is newtosente, 4done on this server. And yeah, just message me, send me an SGF or a link to your game, and I will check it out when I have time, and I will let you know if I am going to make a video about your game. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.